Hey, it's admire and there you go. I came across some stuff on the set of questions for object-oriented programming that we have to practice, and one of them was setw and setfill, and I just thought I'd make a quick video on those for the sake. And anyway, setw and setfill are both methods which belong to the IO-manip header or the IO-manip library, which is to say you can't use setw or setfill without including this specific IO map. Just like we can't use cout, cin, endline, endl without including the IO stream header file. So what these do both is they are actually used to manipulate, or they're used to design, or they're used to play around with our output space, or how our output is formatted. My gosh, noise at the blocks. Or how our output is formatted. So set width, you can think of it as dividing or creating a space for an output which is of a certain size, just as the name suggests. Set width, that's what setw stands for. So it takes in an integer a, or as you can see 10 for example, and if I pass it 10, what it's doing, you can think of it as it's creating a space for outputting which is 10 units long, or maybe 10 boxes long, you can think of it as, and then each output is going to take exactly one box. And you'll see this will get a little bit clearer as we do it. Setfill, on the other hand, takes in a character C. So for example, we could pass in something like dash, for example. That's a character. And what setfill will do is to say, in that set w, or in that specific output space, or in those boxes, let all the unoccupied boxes be filled with this character here. In this case, they'll be filled with dash. So let me just put them into use, and then you can see them like a little bit better in terms of how they work and how they function. Okay, so I came up with a little example here. What we're actually doing is I want to print out a receipt. I've got my appetizer, my meal, my juice, my total. Monday was eating nice, and and yeah. So this is just cout, receipt, and line. This is a normal output. Yewen, 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 yewen. Look at that era. Look at that era. Look at that era. Why would it not know cout? This thing is playing games. Anyway. Okay, cool. I do not know what that was, honestly. Okay, right. Embarrass me on video, I see you. Anyway, that's just a normal output of the word receipt. So let's see how that can be different if we use setfill. So this is how you'd use it. You'd put it before the item that you setw, sorry. You'd put it before the item that you want to print out on your screen, and then you supply your integer. Let's say you want to make a space of let me make it a little big, like 15 or something, and then let's run this and let's see how different the output is. And then there you go. So you see my receipt is now put to the right, and then there's some spaces that are left behind here. Those spaces actually represent the individual boxes you can think of that are, who's decided to play music, that are unused by my receipt, by my receipt printout there. And so now, as I said, we can use setfill to fill those unused spaces with something. So let's also add in setfill here, and let's say I want to fill them in just as we did last time with dashes. Those unused spaces, fill them in with dashes. And then as you can see, there you go, you see you got some dashes here for the unused space, and then the string receipt is printed to the right. So if you were to count each of these characters plus these ones that are also filling, they should make a total of 15, because we created a space of size 15. So by default, setfill aligns whatever output you have here to the right of those boxes, or to the right of that width. But you can also pass another parameter which is not necessarily in the list, but I think it will help clarify our point for today. And this basically determines the direction where you want to put your item, and I want to put it to the left of my box. then there it goes to the left of my box. If I wanted to put it to the right of my box, I could supply right. So okay, cool. So that's for receipt. Now we've seen what we can do with the receipt, but let's take this out and let's make a little bit of a better example, or of one that looks a little bit better. So what I've got here is something that's pretty much the same as what we've been doing, but now what we want to do is we want to output, we want to see out, we want to print, and then we're setting a width of size 12, and then we're filling the unused spaces in that width with full stops, and then we want to align our output to the left. And we'll take this out and you'll see the difference. We want to align our output to the left, and then I want to put the word appetizer. And then afterwards, I want to set another width of 5, and then I want to fill the unused spaces in that width. I want to fill them with full stops as well. And then I want to align this text to the right, and then I want to put the appetizer word, and finally I end my line. So the appetizer variable. Now this seems complicated, but is when you see the, what are you doing, you? Why are you fighting the boy? Anyway, when you see the output, it looks, I don't know why it's doing this today. Anyway, when you see the output, it makes a whole lot more sense. So you see the output is a nice clean output. On the left is appetizer, where it ends it puts in 40. So now if I change this specific character here, let's say I change this to, okay, now you're going to fight me. Let's say I change my setfill entirely. What are you doing to me? Why are you wicked? Now I'm doing things like a caveman. Anyway, if I change this to dashes, for example, it will make it clearer where the width for the last portion is. So you see this had created 5 spaces to print this appetizer variable, and it's got 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, because appetizer is only 2 things, 2 characters or 2 boxes long, or 2 spaces long, and then there's 3 left. And then same thing again here, we repeat the same thing for meal, juice, and total. So there's these 3 unused, 2, and then total actually is 2 unused and then 3 used up spaces. And then here is for total, juice, meal, and appetizer. So we could play around with this, and for example, if we remove left here, and you'll see the difference. You'll see that by default setw aligns to the right, and this is not going to look pretty, but there you go. You see by default it aligns to the right, which doesn't look like a professional product at all. And then we can also take this one out, but taking this one out, and experiment and see how that looks. There we go. Now it's aligned to the left, because the last one here was saying align to the left. So now it's going to align everything that comes after to the left. That's why they had specifically said align things to the right. Come and see this, and let's get back our nice looking item. But why do you keep doing this to your boy? Wickedness. Goes. Oh my gosh, I just keep pressing play. I can't even see what's happening anymore. Oh, it's not saved. I'm supposed to save automatically. Why are you playing? Anyway, right, it's still doing this. So this character, you could change it to literally anything that you want. Like literally last time we had full stops, you could change these to underscores, for example, instead of dashes, and you should see a nicer looking output there. There we go. Haha, professional. And then when we output this, as you can see, we've got these nice lines underneath. But yeah, you can copy this code and play around with setw and setfill. Try it out, see how it works for you. I'm going to return those full stops because I really liked them, and I've been talking for forever. Right, yeah, yo, good luck and stuff.